one of the many exciting things about joining Live was being able to come here and play in front of a Spanish crowd, especially on a level of event and level of competition that I hadn't really yet enjoyed, right? I've been able to play events in Spain.
Here in the beautiful Valderrama, which some say is the European Augusta, it's so special. There's so much history here. There's so much Spanish history here.
Well, it has so much history behind. It's only a 50 years old club, but so much has happened through the years. I mean, we had the Ryder Cup, we had World Gold Championships, and now we have Live.
1, 2, 3, 2, 1.
I feel like when there's this wind in this golf course is so difficult that it's equally stressful no matter when or where you're playing it. But it was fun. It's always fun to be back home and be with the home crowd. It's always a joy to have this many people supporting me all day. It's so much fun.
OMG, what did we just witness? Our first ever double playoff in Live Golf history. I am so pumped up right now.
So much happened on the last 5 minutes. I mean, it looked like it was going to the Crushers and Annie Barton winning, and all of a sudden then Abraham holding a chip, David Puig birdie eight, then that little putt from Annie Barton on the last. I mean, it was great watching.
You know, it's really amazing to be able to do it in your home country, in front of my family, in front of so many friends, and on my favorite golf course. So it's obviously super nice.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency, and Team Colorado has just eliminated Mass Street. They win 84-81 in the TBT tournament. The Kansas crew are eliminated. Colorado gets it done. Big time win for them. 84-81. Game goes way over the number. TBT basketball. We'll get you the updated bracket in a couple of minutes. Just a quick check right now. Major League Baseball going on. 1-0. Dodgers had the bases loaded in the bottom of the first inning, but they only got a run out of it. And that's still 1-0 right now. Top of the fourth inning. Dodgers minus 310 on the money line. San Francisco plus 230. Total right now in game 5.5. Minus 135 to the over. Under 5.5 plus 100. We were just talking golf. With one of the best in the business in Brady Cannon. Let's bring in another one. It's turning into Caddyshack here. Tonight on the show. Although we are going to talk some NFL football. Our boy Jeff Feinberg steps up and joins us off the charity golf circuit, hanging with Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman and all the hockey insiders. You have any free agency news for us? You're hanging out with all the hockey guys.
No, but I was around Zach Hyman's charity golf tournament a couple weeks ago. A lot of the guys were there, Amber, Frege, a lot of the local reporters were loitering around as well.
Which is annoying, isn't it? And Mitch Marner has a golf event and Hyman and stuff, and they said to the media, we don't want you here. And the media got all upset. We promote your event and stuff. You don't want us. No, because like Jeff just said, Kim, they linger around. They want to hear something.
Yeah,
Connor said on the green there that his goalie sucked. And you know what I mean? They're trying to, they're just vultures. What's going to happen with Mitch Marner's contract? It's dude, we're here for a charity. We want to get drunk. We're here for a charity. Yes. The Leafs can't do anything, though, Jeff. I don't know if Cam knows the story, but I felt bad about it last year because it ended up getting picked up everywhere. The Leaf fans and Nation and all the blogs picked it up. I went to Kelowna in British Columbia. It's a beautiful, resort type place, great golf courses and lakes and world class and all that. And I'm in the airport and I'm really hungover myself. It's one of those Sunday morning, leaving. It's 10 in the morning, waiting for the flight. And I just hear over the PA system, Mr. Marner, Paging Mr. Marner. Paging Mr. Marner, right? And so I sort of get a chuckle, and I don't like, you know what I mean? So I'm there, and I think, I wonder if this is Mitch Marner, and a lot of NHL players here, like, they all have cottages, like, they all party up there. So I'm like, I wonder if it's Mitch Marner. I'm like, there's a lot of Marners. Then another minute later, it comes on, paging Mr. Bunting. Paging Mr. Bunting. And I'm like, damn. And then I'm like, yeah, you can't. Michael Bunting, right? So I'm like, damn. I'm like, it's the Leafs. It is the Leafs. And then, like, and, you know, they don't know the ladies that work in the places, right? Finally, they're like, angrily, Mr. Marner, Mr. Bunting, the gate has closed. Like, so, me, you know, I can't help it. I just sort of tweet out. I'm like, I think Mitch Marner and Bunting are all hungover and just missed their plane back.
Yeah, no, I got to tell you, Gabe, like, these guys, Feinberg, what a gong show this team is. Mitch Marner even goes to the damn movies, and then he gets carjacked. You know, it's just like, what the hell's going on with these guys? I gotta tell you, Jeff, I feel your pain, like, with the Chargers and the Leafs and stuff. It's just, after a while, you're getting older. It's just kind of like, I'm even at the point now, I'm like, F it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to, there's nothing more I can give. I'm done. And if something positive happens, so be it. But I'm done investing, bro. I'm done.
Cam, I'll tell you this. It's not even August yet. And the only thing I care about the Blue Jays for is when they win on the app for A&W, you can get free French fries. That's literally, like, the Jays are just so, you know, like, they've just broken me so much. The only thing I check if they're winning or won for is if there's free French fries coming tomorrow.
No, I'm with you. It's like, yeah, when the Raptors used to get 100 and stuff like that. And that Mary Brown's deal, too. I'm like, walking in 4 pieces of chicken taters, whatever. It's like $26. I'm like, where's the chicken? Anyway, the Jays are just, honestly, Jeff, I'll tell you one thing, though, if you watch the show, when me and Morency ripped the Jays, I could just go, they suck with Big John Studd and Atkins and blah, blah, blah. The next day they win. Like, we just ripped them, like, for like 2 segments yesterday, and then they win tonight. But it's a train wreck, Jeff. Like, what do you do? Like, what do you do with this team? Like, I don't even know what to say anymore. We have no farm system. We have no nothing. It's just, the Toronto sports scene, it's an absolute disaster. Like, when you think about it and compared to, like, other places, like, Leafs never win, Jays, I know Argos, like, they're grinding, whatever, but the Raptors rebuild, like, this is tough times, bro.
Yeah, I really don't know what the Jays are going to do. I'm certain they don't have the guts to rebuild properly. There's too much money on next year's payroll, Gabe, for them to rebuild properly. And Gabe, I was just joking with Cam that the Jays have beaten me down so badly. All I cheer for them for is when they win, A&W gives people in Ontario free French fries. Like, that's the extent of our fandom here. But I don't think they have the guts to rebuild properly. They've got too invested in next year's payroll, and you know Rogers is going to try they're going to try way too hard to hold on, I think, to the shitty roster next year.
Yeah, it's just, and another thing too, Jeff, it's like one of these situations where you got to keep the stars. I got to be honest with you. I think they're going to get rid of arms. Like, that's the one thing I could tell you. Like, Garcia, he's probably gone. Bassett, I would say almost 100%. He's done. You got to keep Guerrero though, because, and the thing is, me and Gabe were talking about this. Bichette's probably going to be the guy, but you have to have one face of the franchise. It's going to be the arms. Bassett, Garcia's a good setup man. He's now their closer. Like, they've already talking about all these guys are going to be gone big time.
We should know you changed your mind a lot on the Jays, Cam. About you were the one who wanted to trade Guerrero and Bichette before. Now you're like, you can't trade Guerrero.
No.
That's exactly what I said a couple of days ago. I said they're not trading Guerrero.
No. I'm just saying, I don't even mind. Like, I'm just saying they have to get rid of tons of players to replenish a cupboard that is empty. No, you're right. Like, the thing is, you can't get rid of, like, all the guys, and there has to be one face, and Guerrero is the face. Guys, you know what, though, Gabe? He's hit a home run in 5 of his last 6 games. Like, his stock right now is going through the roof. He's actually playing really good. Like, he's heating up in a major way. Like, he's playing great baseball right now.
It was dumb for anybody to ever think, like, they were going to want it to trade or would trade. Like, why would you trade your one good player? Like, they're not that far off. You know what I'm saying? Like, they a tweak here, a tweak there. They just need to fire everybody. They need to fire Shapiro. They need to fire Atkins. They need to fire the manager and bring in whoever the hell it is. It can't be worse. Look at the Cleveland Guardians, how good they are since they left.
Right. Exactly. They're amazing. That's the point.
And a lot less money. Too.
And
what
Canadian
DJ's
players on their team too, with the Nailers and all the other things. Like, it's absolutely hilarious. You watch the Guardians, and they're doing it the right way. They've always had a low payroll. They get the most out of their arms. They find guys out of nowhere that just rake.
You know what it is too? Baseball. Drop picks before, I'm going to say they didn't matter, but it was like, listen, it's a minor leaguers. We're going to build this in free agency and stuff. You see now, guys, you got to get the draft picks right. And teams that do get the draft picks right suddenly are competing quickly. Like it used to be you draft a baseball player and he might make the big leagues in 4 or 5 years or something. Mm-hmm. Now it's like, all right, listen, he's having a good first month in the minors. Call him up. All right, look at Holiday's kid. All right, he's lighting it up in the minors. Call him up. It doesn't always work, though. It doesn't always work after the fact. All right, so our boy Feinberg and House, the Giants have tied the game 1-1 with the Dodgers. I had to reset something. It was my fault, so I take the blame for that. So I look forward to Jeff's golf picks and his Chargers outlook for the upcoming season. New coach, new season, new facility as well. It was open to the public today, actually. I'm sure you were upset. You could be amongst the first fans at the new facility today.
You kind of...
One of the many exciting things about joining Live was being able to come here and play in front of a Spanish crowd, especially on a level of event and level of competition that I hadn't really yet enjoyed, right? I've been able to play events in Spain.
Here in the beautiful Valderrama, which some say is the European Augusta, it's so special. There's so much history here. There's so much Spanish history here.
Well, it has so much history behind. It's only a 50 years old club, but so much has happened through the years. I mean, we had the Ryder Cup, we had World Gold Championships, and now we have Live.
1, 2, 3, 2, 1.
I feel like when there's this wind at this golf course is so difficult that it's equally stressful no matter when or where you're playing it. But it was fun. It's always fun to be back home and be with the home crowd. It's always a joy to have this many people supporting me all day. It's so much fun.
OMG, what did we just witness? Our first ever double playoff in Live Golf history. I am so pumped up right now.
So much happened on the last 5 minutes. I mean, it looked like it was going to the crushers and Anibal winning, and all of a sudden then Abraham holding a chip, David Puig birdie, then that little putt from Anibal on the last. I mean, it was great watching.
It's really amazing to be able to do it in your home country, in front of my family, in front of so many friends, and on my favorite golf course. So it's obviously super nice.
This is SportsRage. I'm Morency, the pits, the players, the hustlers, the people that bust them, and everybody else in between. Let's do a best of X, because Feinberg's a big NFL guy. He'll get a kick out of this. Cam, you're going to like this video. And I also want to get a video of Bryce Young and him showing up to training camp and see if you still like the over 5.5 as well. But if we can, Jack, let me know. Let's get the best of X up and running here about the Cleveland Browns. Training camp is open for everybody. All right, hit the music. Let's roll. This is the best.
1, 2,
Well, this is good too, but that's not it.
Hulkamaniacs when the Hulkster, the entire country of Canada, the Niagara Falls Comic-Con, and the 24-centimeter pythons.
At that point, I don't know where you guys find this. That was from like 3 months ago.
Yeah, that was amazing. Wow.
It was pretty good. Maybe he turns around. Maybe he let him play at this point. He's Macho Man Savage. Yeah. That's not the one. That's not the one. Like I said, I don't know how they randomly came up with this from like three. Like this is like a random video.
Yeah.
All right. It's about the Cleveland Browns, guys, not Hulk Hogan and Macho. All right, we'll get back to this. All right, speaking of football season, that was like a preseason blunder. I'm the coach. I'm calling people over. I'm like, all right, you know what? You're going to take a seat on the sideline here, and I'm going to put this other kid in. Hey, Wojciechowski, you're in. I call the Polish kid at the end, Carol. Like, Wolotarski, it's your shot. Let's go.
You guys are in. Bombers. Yes.
To being a football coach, Jeff, and just to discuss watching your team screw up on the offensive line.
Yeah, you know
what's all right, here we go. All right, we found it. I just like to ask a question. All right, now it's rolling. This is training camp. This is the Cleveland Browns security working on.
Amazing.
They're working on streakers and people are out on the field.
Awesome. That's fantastic.
Look at the security.
Yeah. That's so good.
Oh, it's so good.
That's fantastic.
Kind of writes itself. They tackle better than the Browns do.
I don't know.
on.
The guy was running around for a while, Morency. Could have been quicker. I'm sorry. I'll disagree with you on that one. That guy kind of made some scoot moves. Took them too long, in my opinion.
You rolled again because it's kind of started up. So here it is.
From the start.
Cleveland Browns security. I got to set it up and stuff.
Yeah.
We're really bumbling this one. All right, so Cleveland Browns security getting ready for the season. A lot of nut jobs in the state of Ohio, like I said yesterday, and I stand by it. If they put that duck in a lake in Columbus, people would try to have sex with it. And
our guest
so
remember that?
Yeah, it's a good thing it was Indianapolis. They're more civilized than Indiana, Ken. So the big inflatable duck. Someone would have tried to marry it in Ohio. Yeah. So here's Cleveland Browns security working on if a fan runs on the field. I like that they're prepared. They're more prepared than the Secret Service was last week. All right, let's go.
Good call.
I like how they have the crowd noise too.
Yeah.
Only Cleveland. This is the best thing ever. I actually like Cleveland, so I'm just kidding. Only Cleveland though, guys. Like they're working on running and tackling.
It's amazing.
Fans running on the field, and they have the crowd noise going on to make it authentic. Is the best. So bravo. All right, take it all back. Awesome great. Job, guys.
Security, it's like auditions. If you want to be on the field security, like you go to pass this agility
test. It's like Kramer at the U.S. Open. He's getting the ball. He's testing out for him. Yeah.
Well, remember, Gabe, Cleveland has had incidents before with the bottles and stuff. They've actually had a lot of security breaches. So that's one team that needs to work. Remember that? It was craziness.
Well, that was Sam Weish in Cincinnati saying, stop throwing stuff. We're not Cleveland.
No, there was a Cleveland Jacksonville bottle throwing incident as well. A
lot of Ohio.
There was a firecracker throwing incident this morning with Argentina and Paris at the soccer. All right, so we got about 2 minutes for the break. On the other side, we'll get Jeff's 3M picks here. But, Jeff, what's your gut feel about the Olympic golf next week? Because we're not going to have you on next week. Who do you like next week? I'm looking forward to this.
Yes, I mean, it's a total shot maker, accuracy golf course. We've seen players like Tommy Fleetwood and Alex Noren win on this golf course before. Colin Morikawa might be an elite player who really does fit the bill for this golf course. But I think the Canadian Corey Connors is going to be really sneaky in play here at Le Golf National. I think a guy like Tom Kim is going to be really sneaky if it sort of gets past that front wave. And I know it sounds weird, but you know his number's going to get beat down. He's not going to win. Tommy Fleetwood, he's won on this golf course. It could make a lot of sense, but probably one of those European Ryder Cup guys from a few years ago.
You like him, Jeff?
I mean, he's course proof. But honestly, might be like Noren to Medal might be the prop.
I'm buying into Noren a little bit too, as a little feel here too. We were talking earlier with Brady about liking the Europeans. The Americans swept the majors this year, Jeff. How do you feel? Are you looking at more European player? And I brought it up. Look, Xander's the hottest player in the world right now. And, oh, yeah, by the way, he's the defending gold medal champion. But Brady said he didn't want to touch him because it's just asking too much to win gold now.
Yeah, it probably is. He's probably going to really be enjoying himself. It really is. I mean, the Europeans dominated that Ryder Cup in Paris, like dominated it. And
yeah,
it really
exactly.
It really is a golf course that does suit, maybe some of the strengths of these Europeans more so than a lot of the Americans. But I think a lot of guys could be in play because distance won't be that big of an issue, I don't think.
I brought it up earlier, remember, Cam? I said, look at the hostility in the Olympics today. Mm-hmm. It'll continue. I'm telling you. I think it's going to be one of these Olympic Games. There's going to be a lot of incidences, and fans are going to be super rowdy, and it will have that Ryder Cup feel. And I think the French fans, Cam, they're going to chirp the Americans. They're going to be pulling for the Europeans. They will. Yeah.
One of the many exciting things about joining Live was being able to come here and play in front of a Spanish crowd, especially on a level of event and level of competition that I hadn't really yet enjoyed, right? I've been able to play events in Spain.
Here in the beautiful Valderrama, which some say is the European Augusta, it's so special. There's so much history here. There's so much Spanish history here.
Well, it has so much history behind. It's only a 50 years old club, but so much has happened through the years. I mean, we had the Ryder Cup, we had World Gold Championships, and now we have Live.
1, 2, 3, 2, 1.
I feel like when there's this wind in this golf course is so difficult that it's equally stressful no matter when or where you're playing it. But it was fun. It's always fun to be back home and be with the home crowd. It's always a joy to have this many people supporting me all day. It's so much fun.
OMG, what did we just witness? Our first ever double playoff in Live Golf history. I am so pumped up right now.
So much happened on the last 5 minutes. I mean, it looked like it was going to the crushers and anybody winning, and all of a sudden then Abraham holding a chip, David Puig birdie, then that little putt from Anirban on the last. I mean, it was great watching.
You know, it's really amazing to be able to do it in your home country, in front of my family, in front of so many friends, and on my favorite golf course. So it's obviously super nice.
This is SportsRage. Man, this show flies by. Well, we're having fun. Cruising tonight. We got our boy Big Card Julio going to step up, and then we got Jeff Feinberg in the house, so we can go on and on. We're just talking about the Olympics. Can't wait for this Olympic tournament. It's going to be super cool. Great golf course. Anything else? And I screwed up today. My bad. I apologize. Although Mayo's language was a little bit unclear. I thought we were clearer on the time zone, but I stiffed Mayo this morning, Cam.
Yes.
Yeah, but the thing is...
Yeah, it's early.
The thing is, I hate doing that. No, it bothers me. Pro. I don't like doing that. So I was excited about it. I was the one tweeting out. I got a bunch of Olympic picks. And I actually set my alarm, and I woke up, and I thought it was 11 o'clock West Coast time. So I woke up at like 9:30, and I had my picks all ready, and I even picked out, I'm going to wear this shirt on the show. All right, I'm ready to go. And I see a bunch of angry messages. Where are you? And stuff from like 8 a.m. And I'm like, oh. So there was a miscommunication. I'm going on Monday for sure. Otherwise, I'll be banned if I miss this one.
Yeah, he calls me. Mayo's an early guy too. Like, we work the late night shift, but I sleep. Through the alarm.
He should have known that 7:55 a.m. wasn't going to work. That was a bad time. I thought it was like 10:55. Like it was a miscommunication.
He likes early tapings. Yeah.
I'm going to be on though Monday. Like I told him, I said, listen, the Olympics are just getting started. I'll have a bunch of picks still on Monday. So, we're ready to rock. But what about the 3M this week, Jeff? Who you looking at?
My confidence is low at the moment. As you guys know, Cam knows the golf. It's just such a roller coaster. I like to call myself a mid-range jump shooter this week because all my bets will be right in the middle of the board. Eric Von Rooyen, like 45-1.
Love it.
I bet Taylor Pendrith, the Canadian, 45-1. Adam Hadwin, 50-1. Emiliano Grillo, 60-1. Austin Eckroat, like 66-1. So I don't know. I'm right in the middle. Like that might not be an ideal place. As this year, it's kind of either been like crazy long shots or chalky. So just peppering the middle of the betting board is probably not been the prudent move. But I didn't really know what else to do.
I was telling Gabe about the EVR story.
I brought up Eckroat.
Is big.
Oh, yeah,
it's a big story. Like, Jeff, as you know, his best friend at the University of Minnesota, like, he died, right? And he won that first tournament where he hit an eagle to win. This is like a major for him. Like, I saw a clip, like, this guy is saying, like, this is big for me, the state of Minnesota. I love the EVR pick. And he's like 50-1 for a first-round leader, Gabe. And Jeff will tell you he's a notorious hot starter. I think he comes out of the gate like, this is a week where I love EVR. I think he's going to be very dangerous, and Jeff agrees.
There's so much water on this golf course that be prepared for your guys to make some big numbers while some easy scoring is going to be going on. I've kind of backed EVR like a bunch of years here. It hasn't really gone great, but he's striking it well right now. I do like him. I think it's gonna be a pretty boring watch though. Like they're just gonna mash and just hit it's just gonna be like bombing and putting all week.
Yeah, that's why it's the calm before the storm with the Olympics. But a lot of the guys we talked about, we talked about liking the Canadians. Brady liked Hadwin. Maybe I'll just play all these Canadians. I talked about liking the Canadians when they play in the border states and in the Midwest. They do well, Ken. Yeah. I might just ride that. But you think Corey Connors is sneaky in the Olympics next week too? Huh? That's thinking outside the box.
Maybe a little bit, but Le Golf National really does suit the Corey Connors skill set. He hits it long and straight, and he's an incredible iron player. I mentioned Colin Morikawa. I think it might suit better than any of the higher-end players. In some ways, he hits it farther, but Corey Connors brings a lot of the Morikawa skill set, I would say, including the fact that he can struggle to putt, but I do believe that Corey Connor. I'm going to be betting Corey Connors next week. Maybe it's just the Canadian fanboy in me, but I do believe that course does suit him. You look, like I said, you look at who's won on that golf course: Alex Noren, Tommy Fleetwood. I think Corey Connors to me kind of suits his name fits along those two in terms of a playing profile: elite iron play and very accurate off the tee.
All right, hang in here. We got a break coming up. I just want to get a couple more picks from Jeff and a quick Charger takeover under season win total. Brooke Henderson is the third choice to win the Canadian Women's Open this week. She hasn't won on tour yet this year. She's 14-1. I actually think this favorite, Lilia Vu, pretty good number at 12-1. But I got a gut feel here, and I'm not going to lie, gut feel. I watched the feature on this tournament. Allie Ewing at 14-1. I think she could win this tournament.
Playing really good. Ewing's good.
one of the many exciting things about joining Live was being able to come here and play in front of a Spanish crowd, especially on a level of event and level of competition that I hadn't really yet enjoyed, right? I've been able to play events in Spain.
Here in the beautiful Valderrama, which some say is the European Augusta. It's so special. There's so much history here. There's so much Spanish history here.
Well, it has so much history behind. It's only a 50 years old club, but so much has happened through the years. I mean, we had the Ryder Cup, we had World Gold Championships, and now we have Live.
1, 2, 3, 2, 1.
I feel like when there's this wind in this golf course is so difficult that it's equally stressful no matter when or where you're playing it. But it was fun. It's always fun to be back home and be with the home crowd. It's always a joy to have this many people supporting me all day. It's so much fun.
OMG, what did we just witness? Our first ever double playoff in Live Golf history. I am so pumped up right now.
So much happened on the last 5 minutes. I mean, it looked like it was going to the crushers and Annie Barton winning, and all of a sudden then Abraham holding a chip, David Puig birdie eight, then that little putt from Annie Barton on the last. I mean, it was great watching.
You know, it's really amazing to be able to do it in your home country, in front of my family, in front of so many friends, and on my favorite golf course. So it's obviously super nice.
All right, welcome back to the Golf Channel on SportsGrid Radio and Television Network. I am Gabriel Morency.
You're Rich.
We spent the first 90 minutes. We sprinkled in a couple of things. But...
Yes,
all right,
yes.
So big card Julio. We haven't forgotten about our boy JN Reports. He's going to step up in a couple of minutes, but we'll get him in the next segment. We'll get Jeff out after this segment. We had a Canadian Women's Open. I brought it up. Ali Ewing playing great golf right now, 14-1. Lilia Vu, also a dominant player. She's 12-1. Brooke Henderson playing in Canada, but I'm not really fully buying it. But I wanted to ask you, Jeff, and we'll get back to more golf after. Our boy Gokster's in the house. He's got some picks. We'll get Cam's picks again. But we got the Canadian Women's Open, if you're betting this, Jeff. And have you been betting the Live Tour? Have you gotten into a Live rhythm at all? And any interest in the Live UK this week before we get to the Chargers?
Yeah, so actually I've made quite a sizable bet in Live UK, and I went right to the top. I went to the chalk. I bet Jon Rahm to win the Open Championship. It's the first Jon Rahm bet I've probably made all year. He did not win. He was put in the horrible weather wave and finished 8th. He led in greens hit in regulation at Valderrama a couple weeks ago. This is, again, a tighter golf course where that's going to be a premium. It's just he's starting to play well. It's too – you'd almost consider it like riding it into the Olympics maybe. Like Jon Rahm is going to win a golf tournament. Like he is. I have no doubts about it. He's starting to be the guy that I think we know he is. It took him a long time to get adjusted this year into what's happening, and he also got hurt. I really like Jon Rahm. I'm laying that chalk and Live.
Remember, Cam, I brought that up. I asked you and Brady. I said, you know what? Jon Rahm, like you said, Jeff, Jon Rahm, he had the Masters dinner, and the old guys were okay with him, and then he got snubbed the rest of the weekend, and he was surprised, right? He was like, oh, people I thought were my friends weren't talking to me. They turned, it went bad for him. He got injured. He didn't play well. It seems like he has started to turn around. Like I said, Cam, what better way to sort of salvage a forgettable year? And it's hard to say he had a forgettable year when someone just gave you $350 million. But,
yeah. But you're right.
To wrap it up with a gold medal, at least. Like, competitive nature. Because he's forgotten about guys. Let's be real. People are talking about Bryson. People are talking about Scheffler. People are talking about Xander. We're not talking about Jon Rahm at all anymore.
Jeff is right. And he had a horrible luck draw with the way the weather was. at Troon there. He's playing a lot better. Jeff, he's my pick too. I got 3 guys. I took I had the same as Brady. We didn't even talk. I took Dean Burmeister at like 30, and then I got Dick Bland, Gabe's favorite golfer. Dick Bland, Richard Bland, who's actually can play with the young guys. It's not that long of a course, but I'm with you on Rahm. He's my biggest play as well.
I might just feel like I automatically, if he have to carry a Rahm bet into the Olympics, almost to Gabe's point, like he's got probably something. It's the only thing significant left. He wouldn't care about a live title. I know that for a fact. So if they're posting numbers on Rahm for the Olympics, 16, 18 to 1, I actually think that'd be pretty fair.
That'd be good.
I think I saw 12.
Yeah, you're not going to get
You're
that.
asking for sorry, it's 12, Jeff. 12.
Jeff wants the super value deal. Yeah, that's 18.
I get you the exact numbers here, but I'm just looking at the Chargers. So, wow, I'm seeing a move number here at one book. Chargers over 9.5 plus 160.
Whoa.
I guess they got hit with the 8.5 at minus 150. You got to move on these numbers. They move. That is ambitious, but wow, plus money. And listen, there's different numbers with these futures. Michigan's the same thing. Michigan, there's a 9.5 plus money, 8.5 minus money. But the Chargers, can they get to 10? And is it asking too much, Jeff, to get to 10 in Harbaugh's first year? What's your feel about this now that camp is opened up?
It might be too much to get to 10. I am quite confident they will absolutely compete for for one of those final wild cards in the AFC. Gabe, you look at the teams that competed for that spot last year: the Pittsburgh Steelers, even the fact that the Colts went into the last week of the season with a chance to make the playoffs. Since they've added that last playoff spot, we've seen bad teams compete, contend, and even for that spot, and even get in on that spot. So I'm quite confident with their last place schedule and their crossover being the NFC South, the Chargers are going to contend for that playoff spot. I do believe it.
I like what they're doing. The direction, obviously, it's going to take a couple of years for Harbaugh, a couple of Harbaugh's drafts for everything to really come together. But I tell you what, they're already in love with this wide receiver as well, Jeff. And that's, I talked about this. If you guys remember, when Pete Carroll, it was an advantage with the Seattle Seahawks. Like when he came back, to the NFL coming from USC, when you're at the pinnacle of college football, unless you're Urban Meyer and you're just clueless, but when you're at the pinnacle, you know every player. You know who's good. You know who isn't. You recruited them. You went against them and stuff. And McConkey, Jeff, is a guy that Georgia played Michigan. Michigan and Georgia played 2 years ago. So they've gone head-to-head. Harbaugh knows all about the Georgia Bulldogs and how good they are, and Herbert's already fallen in love with them.
He seems like a perfect Charger.
They expect him to catch a ton of balls. A perfect Charger in the sense that, Keenan Allen was
he's very un-Charger-like, to be honest. Like, this is sort of like they want to bring in that. The Charger, Keenan Allen was good, but they've had flashy wide receivers who've gotten hurt before. This is the type of guy that can haul in a ton of balls,
And the expectation is that he will haul in a ton of balls. And don't get me wrong, like from a fantasy bros perspective, like the arrow is not exactly pointing up on the Chargers offense as a whole with the Jim Harbaugh mindset. But a guy like Ladd McConkey is probably going to catch 80 balls this year. And I'm not saying to overdraft any of these guys, but even Josh Palmer, Gabe, from Brampton, Ontario, here up the street from Tennessee University, Allen and Williams were out a ton. Like a ton. That's not a secret. It's like opening day next year will not be the first time Justin Herbert's had to play a football game without Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. You know that from having to break down all the Charger games and being like, oh, they're without those guys as usual. Josh Palmer stepped up every time. Every time when he was forced into situations that he shouldn't have been forced into. So,
he is the type of guy Harbaugh will love.
Yes. And the Chargers are going to run the ball. They're not going to turn it over. And in the same way the Chargers would, blow games in the past, if you were playing the Chargers, if you bet against the Chargers, Gabe, you'd sit there watching it. I don't care what's happening now. As long as the team I bet on is staying in the fight, the Chargers will give it back to them. I think it's going to be a total flip. The Chargers are going to be the team how they play, their conservative mindset, they're going to stay within reach the entire game. And come the fourth quarter, it's going to start to flip for the Chargers. It is incredible. This Jim Harbaugh stuff, it's like just such a sense of relief as a Charger fan. I don't have to worry of, like, I love the team so much. I worry about the little things all the time, and there's just a sense of relief. Like, I don't have to worry about that stuff.
No, now you have no. You've got there's a real adult in the room now for real.
Yeah.
All you need to know about Harbaugh too is Shea Patterson with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, the former Michigan Wolverine quarterback, and when he became the starter, Harbaugh called him and told him, "Remember, you're Shea effing Patterson, and remember what you did."
I love
this guy
that.
hasn't played for him in years, Jeff, and he reaches out. He finds out, yeah, this kid, he could be like, man, I'm busy with the Chargers. I don't have time to call Patterson, right? No, he called him and he told him, you remember what you did? You're one of the best quarterbacks and the highest recruited. Just go do your thing. And Patterson talked about Harbaugh called him, and look, Patterson's playing good football. Jeff, we got about a minute or so, whatever. Great stuff as always, my man. But flag football in the Olympics 2028. Going to be lit. Speaking of Palmer, all these stud Canadian wide receivers is going to be interesting to see who's going to end up being on the team. And I sent a tweet to the CFL already, and I said, hey, get ready, guys, and get ready to shut the league down for 2 weeks so you can have your CFL players play in this and showcase the league, Jeff.
That would be incredible to get those, those all-Canadian boys out in the CFL, just to give us just to show up and fight in the Olympics. That'd be awesome.
Nate Rourke, the quarterback, Trey Ford.
Yeah. There you go. I love it.
One of the many exciting things about joining Live was being able to come here and play in front of a Spanish crowd, especially on a level of event and level of competition that I hadn't really yet enjoyed, right? I've been able to play events in Spain.
Here in the beautiful Valderrama, which some say is the European Augusta, it's so special. There's so much history here. There's so much Spanish history here.
Well, it has so much history behind. It's only a 50 years old club, but so much has happened through the years. I mean, we had the Ryder Cup, we had World Gold Championships, and now we have Live.
1, 2, 3, 2, 1.
I feel like when there's this wind at this golf course is so difficult that it's equally stressful no matter when or where you're playing it. But it was fun. It's always fun to be back home and be with the home crowd. It's always a joy to have this many people supporting me all day. It's so much fun.
OMG, what did we just witness? Our first ever double playoff in Live Golf history. I am so pumped up right now.
So much happened on the last 5 minutes. I mean, it looked like it was going to the Crushers and Annie Barton winning, and all of a sudden then Abraham holding a chip, David Puig birdie, then that little putt from Annie Barton on the last. I mean, it was great watching.
It's really amazing to be able to do it in your home country, in front of my family, in front of so many friends, and on my favorite golf course. So it's obviously super nice.
The Wicked Wednesday continues. The Giants are up on the Dodgers right now. Top of the sixth inning. They have a runner on first base. There's 2 out. 2-1. San Francisco. We'll get you the updated in-game number here. And we'll bring in our main man, Big Card Julio, who no doubt is all fired up for the Olympics. And you know what it reminded me of today, guys, the Olympics. And good to see you, Julio. Thanks for joining us. Is the Olympics were like the bowl games. I'm all excited, You're all excited for the bowl games. I used to make this rookie mistake for about 20 years of my life. Was you're all excited for the bowl games, and you end up losing a ton of money on like the first or second like couple of weird games that you weren't even going to bet on. And it was jarring today, right? I bet on all these events, and it was so chaotic just in the morning to begin with, right off the top. And do we have Julio in the house with us? Are you here, Julio, now?
Yeah, I'm here, Gabe. Great to chat with you guys. Look, I'm looking at this Argentina-Morocco game. It's 15 minutes of stoppage time, and I already threw my hands in the air. I've had enough.
17. Yeah, they had 17 minutes of stoppage time. They scored in the 16th minute, and then there was a riot after. But the day started with France and USA rugby sevens. And France were like 12.5-point favorites against the USA. They were winning late, and the USA came back and tied France at 12. That blew up my parlay. I had a France parlay, and once again, the same country, the Spain parlay won with the soccer and with Alcaraz, but it blew up last night on me to this morning. I hammered it too. I'm like, there's no way USA are going to beat France in soccer sevens. They tied 12-12. France did. USA looked pretty good, Julio, in the soccer game today in the first half. And then the second half, France just like dialed it up a notch and the wheels fell off. So France ends up rolling. And then we've got the Canadian controversy, guys, that's like growing right now. Like there's a lot of calls for the coach of Canada to resign now. What's her name? Bev Priestman. So there's calls for Bev Priestman to step down. How does she not know? And this isn't like college football or the NFL where you can sort of like just deflect everything. It's the Olympics, and New Zealand aren't being cool about this either. They're not rolling over on this. They've asked the Olympic Committee not to count the points if Canada beats them tomorrow, Julio. Which you can't do that. Either don't let Canada play, or you can't say, oh, the points don't count. What's the point of playing the game? Right? But It's not ideal for the Canadian women. And the stupid thing is, I brought it up earlier, Canada are like minus 350 favorites against New Zealand, Julio. Like, they didn't even need to do this. It was just stupid. But they play first thing in the morning. Women's soccer starts in the morning now.
I'm excited. I'm looking right now. New Zealand +2. That's tantalizing right now at minus 105.
Well, you want motivation? Yeah, we were just spying.
That's a good one.
I love it. Pretty work.
On the men's side, you can already tell, we can sense the trend. If your book is offering a goal over the 70, it's sometimes between 72 minutes and the 75th minute mark, take it. Because with these long stoppage times, we had 12 minutes, 17 minutes, 8 minutes, 7 minutes. So much stoppage time on the back end that
good call.
You sense that you're going to get goals late. A lot of overs, high-paced games. Team USA had a total of 6 shots against France. The biggest problem with U.S. soccer, they've always been defensively sound. Where's the goal scorers? They don't have a Lacazette on their team. They don't have a young Spaniard who can score. Team USA just have a good collection of quality players.
You know what? They were pretty aggressive early in the first half, and it was surprising France a little bit. You know, they were stretching the field. They were aggressively trying to move the ball up the field, but France were just too much. You can't take away too much from one day of play in these tournaments, but I'll tell you what, guys, coming into it, it was kind of a 3-team sort of thing, right? It was France, Spain, and Argentina. And Argentina today, chaos. The goal is disallowed after like an hour and a half delay. All kinds of strange things happening with them. Not to mention, they got robbed of their personal belongings from the locker room during their practice earlier in the week in France. They got booed during the national anthem. Then they had bottles and firecrackers thrown at them. I don't think they respond in let's win and F all these people. It's only going to get more hostile, Julio, in France. Like, after that racist song that they sang and stuff, which I have no idea why Argentina did that. You didn't even play France. Like, France weren't even in the Copa America. So, like, what are you mocking France for during your celebration when you're all drunk about the Copa America? They obviously don't like each other, fine. But the Argentinian men, Julio, put these Argentinian Olympian kids in a really bad spot, bro. Like, they had firecrackers thrown at them today. They've been robbed. Yeah. And trust me, it's not like the French security in these stadiums are going to be overly eager to get punched in the face protecting an Argentinian right now. Right, so I'm telling you, I think Argentina is going to get bounce camp from the tournament. I think they're going to be like, whatever, let's just get the hell out of here. This is blowing up on us, you know?
You brought up a great point globally, like Morocco and France, like, you know what I mean? They're going to be way more tight. Argentina,
dude, they offended a lot. I don't even want to get into it. They offended a lot of different people. Like, it wasn't just one race or thing. Like, they went after everybody in this song.
Yeah.
You heard it, Julio. You know the story.
Yeah, well, Argentinians are notoriously arrogant. They're one of the most arrogant countries in South America. You go to the heart of Caracas, Venezuela, or you go to the heart of Bogota, Colombia. I guarantee you, they're not going to say nice things about Argentina.
Their fans have been accused of being racist in the past too. Let's just call it out for what it is.
Yeah, they're not the nicest of people of the world. And Julian Alvarez, who played on the World Cup winning team, who was on the Copa America winning team, he's the face of this under-23 team. So he's going to be receiving much more hate over the next two matches.
Yeah, it just loads it up on them. And like I said, I don't think they're going to respond well over the tournament. I think France, man, are going to win.
One of the many exciting things about joining Live was being able to come here and play in front of a Spanish crowd, especially on a level of event and level of competition that I hadn't really yet enjoyed, right? I've been able to play events in Spain.
Here in the beautiful Valderrama, which some say is the European Augusta, it's so special. There's so much history here. There's so much Spanish history here.
Well, it has so much history behind. It's only a 50 years old club, but so much has happened through the years. I mean, we had the Ryder Cup, we had World Gold Championships, and now we have Live.
1, 2, 3, 2, 1.
I feel like when there's this wind in this golf course is so difficult that it's equally stressful no matter when or where you're playing it. But it was fun. It's always fun to be back home and be with the home crowd. It's always a joy to have this many people supporting me all day. It's so much fun.
OMG, what did we just witness? Our first ever double playoff in Live Golf history. I am so pumped up right now.
So much happened on the last 5 minutes. I mean, it looked like it was going to the crushers and Anibal winning, and all of a sudden then Abraham holding a chip, David Puig birdie, then that little putt from Anibal on the last. I mean, it was great watching.
You know, it's really amazing to be able to do it in your home country, in front of my family, in front of so many friends, and on my favorite golf course. So it's obviously super nice.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency, the principal players, the hustlers, the people, the bus, but everybody else in between. All right, let's get to some games, and let's get to what's coming up here. Because I tell you what, too, although as much as I bet on everything, I do admit there's one sport, Cam, that's my nemesis. I've told you this before.
Mm-hmm.
Handball.
Handball's dangerous.
Handball. Yeah, that's handball, Julio. There's handball tomorrow, I see, and I'm like, and I'm like, no. I'm just going to commit to not. I can't bet on every sport, everything, every day, even though I almost do. But we got handball coming up. And this is great. I got the website, the CBC website. CBC, their video player is freaking awesome as far as events coming up here. So we've got you got Mali and Israel. So women's handball coming up. Slovenia, Denmark. We got we got more rugby sevens coming up here. Spain versus Brazil, Germany, South Korea, and then Canada. So we got Canada and New Zealand. You were talking about taking a goal and a half with New Zealand against Canada in soccer. Julio, I'll tell you one thing about this game. I wouldn't imagine there's going to be a lot of goals, but what are you looking at betting on tomorrow in the Olympics?
Yeah, I think on the women's side, it's going to be more cagier than the men. A lot more unders. I have a good sense on. Women's side, New Zealand +2, under 3.5 goals. Team USA against Zambia +110. It's just almost a fade of the Team USA women. Is this new generation ready to take the torch? Listen, I'm not anti-American.
If Zambia beats them, man, that's going to be a big upset.
Wow,
it's going to be
people
a
are going to be pissed. USA can't score. It's weird. And every game, it's one of these, don't worry about it. We dominated. We had 13 shots. They almost remind me, Julio and Cam, of France men's team, where it was like, don't worry about it. We always have the ball, and we're fine. We're just not scoring. It's like, but we played 4 or 5 games, and we've scored 1 goal. We're not scoring. And you watch the U.S. women's team, Julio, with the new coach, Emma Harris? What's her name? Emma. Whatever her last name is. Let me get it. Yeah. She was the Chelsea coach. I think it's Harris. Anyways, they don't score a lot, but now you're getting against Zambia. What's the over-under here? The total
3.5.
Wow. The USA totals used to be 5.5. I'm seeing it 2. Yeah. I'm seeing different numbers. So what's your prediction here, Julio? USA, you're going to beat Zambia. I'll say 3-0.
They're going to beat them. Yeah, exactly. I think 3-0. The third goal will come in maybe the 80th minute or so, hopefully 85th, maybe later, but under 3.5 goals +110. I just think the rest of the world are catching up. This will be another tournament as an example of that. So I don't think it's going to be an easy road for Team USA. I've been focusing, Gabe, on the basketball. I'm going to be a bit of a homer. I'm half Puerto Rican, half Venezuelan, so I'm pumped for the Puerto Rican women and men's national team. They're taking on Serbia, the women.
Okay. Yes.
I'm taking
we saw these guys can ball, bro. I don't know.
Those guys can ball. Puerto Rico, very good defensive group during the Olympic qualifiers, which were in Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico had an edge in San Juan with a hostile crowd. But I'm taking the men on the money line -110, the women +19.5 against Serbia. -110.
Rolling the dice. All right, getting a boatload of points. +19. Just for the record, guys, I talked about this last night with Delano. I was bringing it up. Remember, South Sudan nearly beat the United States, and the numbers have been set for about a week and a half or 2 weeks or whatever for some of these games. And Puerto Rico were 3.5-point favorites, Julio, consistently, and it never moved. And I brought it up on the show the other night, and I said, man, it's kind of crazy that South Sudan nearly beat the U.S., and they've got no love at all for it on the market. Well, evidently, people are starting to bet it now. People just weren't paying attention to it because, wow, what a swing, Julio. Puerto Rico were 3.5-point favorites. Now you're 1.5-point underdogs to South Sudan.
Ooh, I like this Puerto Rico.
Carlos Arroyo will be carrying the Puerto Rican flag, and he's the star of the Puerto Rican team.
That's a lot of steam.
It is a lot of steam. I mean, at one point, it was South Sudan 34.5-point underdogs against Team USA before that market was pulled, and they haven't reposted those markets. So I'm going to be looking to fade Team USA.
We'll hit it on the other side. Yeah, we'll hit it. We'll talk about that. Serbia versus USA Sunday morning. USA are 14.5-point favorites.